Hi, in this video we're going to take a look at Strobe. Strobe is a one oscillator, one filter synth based around classics like the Roland SH101, the Sequential Circuits Pro 1 and the Oberheim OB1. One of the defining characteristics about all these synths is that they're monophonic, which means you can only play one note at once. This is why they were used primarily for bass and lead sounds. This is also true of Strobe. However, if you wish to, you can adjust the voices parameter in order to play more than one voice at a time, making it great for chords, pads, electric pianos, all sorts of other things. In this video I'm going to give you a brief overview, and the best way of doing that is by example. I've got a project here in Live with a simple drum loop and a bass line that I've programmed in on Strobe. Currently Strobe is just playing a default patch, which is a sawtooth waveform, so it doesn't sound very exciting. Let's see how we can mould that into a decent bass line. First of all, I'm going to reduce the pitch here, which I can do either by adjusting the knob or by double clicking . The oscillator is pretty powerful. It's capable of mixing together various different waveforms, including saw, square and noise, and you can mix all these together. It also has sub-oscillators: sine, triangle, sawtooth and square, and you can select how many octaves below the main oscillator frequency these are at. I'm going to leave this at -1. So you can already hear that's fattened our bass line up quite a lot, and we haven't even turned the filter on yet. So the filter has basic cutoff and resonance. Choose different filter types. I'm going to leave it on low pass 4-pole. The filter also has this great drive parameter which allows you to overdrive the input to the filter. You might have to pull the level down a bit just to adjust. And what that gives us is it gives us a lovely analog modelled growl. I'm going to back that off a little bit. Down the right hand side here we've got three hardwired modulators. We've got key tracking, we've got LFO and we've got envelope, so we can apply some of any of those to the filter cutoff. If I apply envelope, it's applying this modulation envelope here to the filter cutoff. Now the envelope's pretty cool. We can switch it between linear and logarithmic modes. We can sync it to tempo, which means we can, each of the phases, we can have a precise division of the massive tempo that's in your sequencer. So that's a quarter note decay I've got there. I can loop it, which sounds great. filter. Other nice things we can do with the oscillator are stack and detune. This allows us to stack up copies of the oscillator onto themselves and detune them. It's a little like unison. It's just a really sort of warm spread sound. And the detune's capable of going up to an octave, so we can do clever things like fifths. Great for kind of electro lead sounds. I'm going to leave that off for now. And we've got oscillator hard sync, which is kind of a classic sound. I'll show you the LFO here, which is quite interesting. We can apply the LFO to the filter cutoff to hear what it's doing. There's different LFO shapes. We've got a rate here, which is the speed. And again, we can sync that rate to divisions of the host tempo. And an interesting feature is that it's got swing and pulse wave, which means we can actually really add some musicality into the LFO. Really hear the swing there. This part of the oscillator here is the pulse width control. This controls the pulse width of the square waveforms, one for the main square waveform and one for the sub-oscillator square waveform. It's a pretty cool sound. Traditionally you'd apply LFO to it, which we can do with it again with this hardwired modulator here. And that's Strobe.